Okay guys, we are live. So hey everyone, I'm Viraj Jain, your mentor at GeeksforGeeks, and in this video we're gonna talk about S3 storage classes and pre-signed URL. Okay, so this is going to be a very theoretical video, and we are not going to code it much. But yeah, I'll be explaining things because this is something related to cost. Okay, so storage classes are basically different types of storage types, different type of storage devices in AWS S3, which would cost you differently. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that, and then after that we're gonna talk about pre-signed URL. Okay, and one last thing is we're gonna talk about a course policy. So course policy would be something which you're gonna use in full stack development a lot. So I'll just give you the policy because sometimes you might face a course error. So I'll give you that error. Okay, and I'll explain the what's the policy. Okay. Kirau Tirkari, love from Nepal. Thanks for watching. Okay, let's begin. So first of all, I'll just search for S3 storage classes. Okay, if you search for this, you would go to AWS website, and here you will get all the available storage classes. Okay, so basically what's that? So if I give you an example, like if we have different types of hard disk. Okay, so I'll just say, suppose you have one type of hard disk named as HDD, hard disk drive, right? If I talk about computers, you have hard disk drive. This is a storage device, right? Comparatively, we have a solid state drive, okay, SSD, right? This is also a storage device, right? And then guys, we have NVMe. So basically we generally use nowadays the latest one is NVMe, but we use these three types of storage devices, right? And if you're talking about much more faster one, then the fastest storage device is what? RAM. Okay, RAM, which would be available for instant access. Okay, so basically we have a lot of different type of storage devices in our computers. So if I talk about the specialty, you would say that this like the RAM is the fastest. Okay, and then the lesser speed is of NVMe. Then if I talk about lesser speed than NVMe, then we have SSD. Then we talk about slowest of them, so we're gonna say that the hard disk drive is slowest. Then solid state drive is little bit faster, NVMe is more faster, and RAM is the fastest. Okay, so generally this is the way, and these are some storages. Okay, so if you got this example, that means you'll be able to understand storage classes. Okay, so you would say that yeah, hard disk drive is just for storing normal things, and then you have solid state drives. If you are playing a computer game, then you can store your game in solid state drive. The NVMe, if you are doing very heavy tasks like that, you can store things. If you are doing real time tasks, then your computer has a RAM inside. Okay, so I won't go in that much depth, but yeah, just an overview that hard disk is the slowest and RAM is the fastest. And nowadays in a normal computer we have NVMe as storage devices. Just an overview. Okay, I hope you got the idea. These are the type of hard disks. Okay, HDD, SSD, and NVMe, and RAM is just an example. It's a stick which is in your computer. But yeah, this is type of speeds. Hard disk is slowest, RAM is fastest, right? Similarly, to store something in AWS S3, we have different storage classes. Okay, so you can assume that these kind of storage classes are there. Okay, some of them are slowest, some of them provide fastest result. Okay, so you can say that in what cases you're gonna use the slowest storage class. Everyone wants fast storage class, fastest result, because like yeah, obviously the fastest storage class would be what, suppose an example, you have your computer, right? It has a RAM, it has one storage device named as NVMe. Okay, NVMe, if you don't know what's NVMe, then please search about it. Okay, it's latest type of hard disk which we have in our computers. If I just search about it, you will just understand this is the NVMe hard disk. Okay, then we have solid state drives, so SSD storage. So you're gonna see that this is what, this is a solid state drive, right? SSD looks like a wallet. Okay, then guys, we have what, we have a hard disk drive, HDD storage. So you're gonna get HDD. So this is a hard disk, right? So nowadays the latest type of storage is this one because this is the fastest. Then solid state drive is a little bit slower, and this was the old version, hard disk drives. But yeah, these are the storage devices, and you can say this is the slowest, little bit faster, fastest, and then we have RAM, which is like very fast but very less storage because it's too costly, right? RAM is too costly. Okay, so in what cases you would be using what? So hard disk is very slow, HDD is very slow. Why would I use this now? So this is cheap. Okay, if I compare it to NVMe or SSD, hard disk drives are cheap. Everyone knows that. You can search on Amazon and you can compare the rate of 512 GB of hard disk or 1 TB of hard disk compared with 1 DB of NVMe. You'll know that yeah, it gives you fast speed, but it's very costly, right? So some people cannot afford costly things, so they can go for HDD, okay, which is less costly, and also it doesn't give us much speed, so that's a problem. So in that case, you would be storing those files, you won't be needing much, okay. Hard disk drives would be storing those files, you won't be needing much, like your 5-year-old photos, okay, your 5-year-old photos or videos as an archive, right? Just for memories, you are storing your photos here. In SSD, what you can store? You can store your recent photos, okay, which you won't see that much, but yeah, you would open once in a month, recent photos. In NVMe, what you can store? You can store you can store 4K videos, or you can store computer games, which needs fast transfer of speeds, okay. So it's like the fastest things which you can need right now, you can store it in NVMe. Then you can store some 1 month old things which you don't need that much, but yeah, once in a month or few times a day you're gonna just watch this, so SSD. Then some old memories, 5-year-old memory, which you won't see that much, you'd be storing it in hard disk drive, right? Similarly, guys, we have storage classes. So let's talk about storage classes. So I give you a basic example, although this is not something which you're going to talk about inside S3, but just a reference, okay. In computers we have storage device, in S3 we have storage classes, okay. So it offers a range of storage classes, and you would see the names of these storage classes are basically these, okay. So one type of this, okay, I'll just go down, and you'll get some kind of table here. So you can read more about this, but yeah, this is a very good table. This is just for summary, and basically I'll just give you a short overview here. So you can see that if I talk about S3 standard, you can assume that this is one type of storage device, right? It's a general purpose storage for frequently accessed data, right? And then we have S3 intelligent tiering, automatic cost saving for with unknown and changing access patterns. So sometimes you can give access to one type of storage, later on you can change, like sometimes you would be needing fast access, sometimes you would be needing slow access. So in that case you can go for S3 intelligent tiering, like it's intelligent, sometimes it would give me fast data, sometimes it would give me slow data according to the situation. Similarly, we have one express one zone, okay. So it's like high performance storage for your most frequently accessed data. This is another type of storage. Similarly, we have S3 standard IA. So infrequently accessed, that means some kind of data which you won't be accessing frequently, like your 5-year-old pictures, you won't be using that frequently. Or if I give you a very good example, suppose you are using this S3 bucket for hospital, okay, for you're using this for a hospital. How often do we visit hospitals, or how often do we visit hotels? We don't visit that much, okay. We would be going there once a year or maybe twice a year, okay. If I talk about general population, if you are healthy, and like if I talk about hospitals, if you are healthy, then you would be going once a year or twice a year, that's it, right? So in that case, that means you are not using your data frequently into that hospital's database. That means your data must be stored in standard IA. That means not that much frequency is required, okay. But yeah, data must be available, so you can store it in this kind of device, okay. Then we have S3 one zone IA, then we have S3 glacier instant. Different are there, okay. Different ones are there. Purpose of each is as per the usage, okay. So if I just scroll more, you can see we have one more, okay. We have one more, and basically some more details are here. You can just see some use cases have been given. First byte latency, durability, which is more durable. So you can see that 99.99% they are durable, okay. That means in 99.99% cases you will get your result, whatever you are searching for, whatever you are trying to add, whatever you are trying to delete, you will get the result, you will get positive response 99.99 times, right? In all cases you can see that in I think after some days before some days, you can actually see that right now it's 99.9 in almost all cases. Yeah, it's somewhere 99.9995. That means here you can come. Availability, it's like today I'm trying to access my hard disk storage, I'll get the complete data. Tomorrow I'll try to access my hard disk storage, I won't get the data. That means today it's available, tomorrow it's not available, right? Similarly, in this case also you can see that today I'm trying to access this, so 99.99% of chances there that this S3 standard would be available. Similarly, 99.9% chances there for this second one. Similarly, 99.95%, that means a slight difference This is most of the times available. This is a little bit less available. There is no such difference, but still a little bit less available. That means this express one zone is a little bit less available than S3 standard. Okay, I hope you got some reference. Similarly guys, we have 99%, that means more or less available, more or less available, and so on. So you can see that different storage devices have different availabilities, right? And now here you can see one more thing. For each, you can see that we can have multiple availability zones also, right? We can just store our S3 into multiple availability zones. We have more than three availability zones for this one. That means our backup would be created in more than three availability zones. So accidentally if we delete one bucket, automatically we can retrieve it very easily because of three availability zones. Similarly, the second one also has three availability zones, and here you can see it is only allowed to be available in one availability zone. That means backup would only be available in one availability zone. That's why its name is also express one zone, right? Similarly, we have all of them named like this. Okay, some are available for all the three or more availability zones. Backup would be available in other availability zones. Some are not allowed to have backup in other availability zones. Okay, so AWS creates automatic backups, by the way. So in these cases you would see one availability zone. That means automatic backups are not shifted to other availability zone. That means, for example, we are using Mumbai region, right? Mumbai region, and suppose we are using availability zone 1A. Suppose in 1A, in this case you can see that in this case, suppose 1A has some terror attack or something like that. Okay, that means some server is damaged, completely damaged, bum se उड़ा दिया, ठीक है server को. Then what would happen if you were using this kind of storage? If you are using this kind of storage, it says that things must be available only one availability zone. That means even if you have a backup, it would still be in one availability zone. That availability zone just got blasted. Okay, so if that is blasted, that means you would lose your complete data. Okay, so this is the problem with these kind of zones. Okay, I hope you got now a reference why 3 is better in some cases, why 1 is better. Okay, obviously you would be storing that data which you don't need frequently, or when you need frequently, but if it's deleted, then that's also fine, and things like that. Okay, so different use cases are here. And now you can see that this is one more thing. You can see here some days are written. Okay, so you can see that things would be charged accordingly. So it's like, for example, today I am uploading something, 1 MB of file to each kind of storage. Suppose I delete that file today itself. This case won't be charged anything. This case won't be charged anything. In this case, 1 hour of charge would be taken. Even if you delete at the very first minute, you would be charged for 1 hour of storing that file. Okay, similarly 30 days of charge would be taken for this one, 30 days of charge would be taken for this one, 90 days of charge would be taken for this one, 90 days of charge would be taken for this one. That means even if you delete the file very next minute, but you would be charged for the next 90 days of that file. Okay, sounds unfair, right? But it is what it is. But yeah, that's how you compare things, that's how you have to see things. Okay, so it's like when you would be creating a full stack application for yourself, for your clients, then you have to see what kind of storage you are using. Different one would be costing you more. Okay, in this case you can see that unnecessary costs are taken here. If you delete the file just now, why you would be paying things? Okay, so in some cases you would prefer this, in some cases you would feel what the hell is this, right? What the hell it is. So basically this is the case, right? Similarly, retrieval charge is what? Suppose you delete the data. Okay, now you want to retrieve the data. So they won't be charging you anything, they won't be charging anything, but this type of storage would be charging as per GB. Again, as per GB, right? As per GB, right? You can see that's how it's done. Okay, and one more thing, this is also very important. Almost everything is covered in the difference. One more thing, you can see designed basically yeah, this one, first byte latency. So you can see that different ones have different latency. You can see different latency. So this is gonna take hours of latency, right? So you can see that sometimes it's gonna take hours, someone is gonna take hours, someone is gonna take milliseconds. So latency is also different. So yeah, according to the latency, you have to pick the S3 storage which you prefer. Okay, now you can just search for the pricing also. Different ones have different pricings, and if I just click on this, you'll get some pricing also, some idea of the pricing. You can see storage pricing, and if you are using this one, you can see that for standard this is the pricing, and for intelligent this is the pricing. Different ones have different pricing. Okay, so you can select as per your pricing, although by default, if I just show you, if I just log into S3, okay, let me just log into S3 and I'll show you something. Okay, I'll just log in as root user and next and sign in. You can see guys that we already have some S3 storage here, and basically I'll just delete my old ones. I think we won't be using these old ones, so I'll just delete my old ones. Okay, I won't be using these, so delete. Because if you have unnecessary buckets, then you would be charged unnecessary, although for 1 year this is totally free. Okay, I explained you in the previous videos, this is totally free. But yeah, still I think you must go in the most optimized way. That means even if you are not using anything, please delete it. You won't be charged for 1 year, but still delete it. Make a habit. Okay, so I'll just click on empty and this bucket would be deleted, so exit. Similarly, you can delete other buckets also, and similarly I'll just delete this bucket also. Okay, so just a second guys, I'll just delete this one also, so empty. Okay, exit. Similarly guys, I think now I simply need to delete this one. Okay, it's a time taking process, so I'll just do it after this video. Okay, I won't waste time. But yeah, similarly you can delete those buckets which you don't use. Let's create a fresh bucket for now. Okay, and I'm just gonna name it as my bucket 10. Okay, something like that I'm gonna name it. Here you can see that in which region you want to create, so I'll just select automatically. It would be Mumbai, nearest location Mumbai, so I'll just select that. Okay, then you can just choose rules from previous buckets. I won't be choosing it. Default bucket rules would be taken. Okay, and after that I'm just gonna unblock this one. Okay, that means all public access is allowed. Then after that, what else you need is you can just go to advanced settings. Okay, and yeah, everything is fine, so I'll just click on create bucket, and I think yeah, you need to check this one also. Now your bucket would be created. That's how we created in the previous videos also, right? And already, okay, strange, my bucket 11. Okay, I'll just type 11. Okay, bucket. Okay, I have to pick a unique name. Okay, I'm sorry, I'll just pick a unique name, so I'll just name it as GFG bucket 1, something like that. Okay, let's check this one. It must be unique globally, not only on your AWS account. It must be unique globally. Okay, so you can see that yeah, GFG bucket 1 is available, right? You can see it's created. Now guys, what you're gonna do is, here let's try to upload things. So if I click on upload and if I go down, you can see that here whenever you upload a single file, you would always get an option in which type of storage you want to upload a file. Okay, so according to your preference, you can store whatever file you want. Generally it's standard, but if it's like if you want most frequently access, then you can go with this one. If you have frequently access data but little bit of lesser speed would work for you, then this one. And you want more availability zones for this one, like that. Okay, like that you can pick whatever storage class you want, right? So I hope you got a basic idea of what's a storage class. In future you would be using this a lot as per your demand, as per your client's demand. You can just ask for the budget of that client. You would be charged like this way. According to the charges, you can store your files also. So obviously you won't be using this method, you would be using your backend. In that backend you would be writing some function to upload S3 files. There you have to specify the kind of storage which you want to use. So the kind of storage which you use would be always best for the customer. Like you must choose that kind of storage which must be best for the customer, according to the price, according to the speed, according to the availability, right? So I'll just make it default one only, but yeah, you can change this. Okay, so if I just select standard, okay, and then I think everything is fine. If I click on, okay, I'll just select the file also. I'll just click on add file. Okay, and suppose I'll just select this file. Okay, and I've selected this file, right? And then guys, I can simply click on upload. So once you upload this, I'll just show you. You can see that here you would get the storage class. Okay, so guys, this is what storage class is. Just a theoretical part. Okay, but still you would be using this a lot when you are starting to use do some work on AWS. You have hosted some projects on AWS, and working projects, real life projects. And suppose you are owning a company, you are owning a business, and you are hosting your website in AWS. So for optimizing things, you need to know about simple storage. Okay, S3 storage. Okay, so this is the pricing. According to the pricing, you can select the storage you want, right? I've just selected the standard one because in most cases this fits the budget in most cases, right? Now guys, this is what S3 storage was. Okay, perfect. Now guys, one more thing. So in future you'd hear some course error also. So I'll just search for this one, S3 course error. Okay, if I just search for this, you'll get a lot of ones. And if like right now I'm not getting the error, but in some cases you would get the error. The error might be something like this. Okay, access control origin, something like that. Okay, so you'd get some kind of error. Okay, course error. Okay, it would be like you'd always check. Sometimes you connect with S3 from your backend, then you would face some course error. Okay, in your backend, if you are trying to upload some file from backend, that is from EC2 to S3, you are trying to upload some file, then you would definitely face course error. Okay, then you definitely face course error. I think they haven't shown here. Let me just find that specific error. Okay, that would be better. Just a second guys. I'm just trying to find the error. Just give me a minute. Yeah, you might find some error. Some heading would be like this: access control allow origin not allowed. Okay, you would get some kind of error. Okay, in that case you have to just paste this type of policy. Okay, they have mentioned it here, but yeah, you can just search for policy in the AWS official website also. Let me just show you the AWS S3 course policy. If I just search for this, and you can see that this is the documentation. There you would get some kind of policy. So I would suggest that please use this type of policy. And course configuration, I think they have mentioned it somewhere, I'm not sure. Yes, I think that this one would work. Or let me just search for other ones all. Okay, S3 course policy. Just give me a minute guys. Okay, I'll just find the specific policy which is available. Yeah, this one. So you can see that they have given the example. So it's like you can use this policy. Where you have to use this policy, you'll just go to your bucket. Okay, your buckets. I'll just go to buckets. Okay, and this was the bucket. Here I'll just go to different properties and permission. Let me just go to permissions. This is the bucket policy, and if you go down, this is the course policy. So you might get a course error in future, so you have to add this course policy. Okay, this is the course policy. After that, here you need to add the URL from which you are trying to access this image or access this bucket, files of this bucket. You have to add that URL. Suppose, or for example, I am using I'm GeeksforGeeks. Okay, I'm GeeksforGeeks. Okay, I'm GeeksforGeeks. Here you are showing some images. These images might be stored somewhere, right? Suppose these images are available in S3. So to show these images into our website, into GeeksforGeeks website, we need some permissions. Okay, so in some cases, sometimes you get course error. So to fix that error, to show this image, sometimes you might not see the image even if you are using the correct URL from the bucket of the image or of the file, you would get a course error. So to fix that course error, just add this course policy. That's it. This would be the error. In future you would face it. So I'm allowing method get. Similarly, you can allow the put method also. Similarly, you can allow the delete method also, and so on. You can mention all the errors. Here you can mention your URL from which you are trying to access this S3 bucket. Suppose from this URL I'm trying to access my S3 bucket. That means my images are shown inside this URL. My S3 images, my S3 files are shown inside this URL. So I have to add this URL so that I can authenticate. I can say, yeah, this guy can access my images. This guy can show my images, files or videos which are stored in my S3 bucket. In that case, you would be needing the course policy. Okay, so if you get the course error, this is the solution, right? Then you can simply allow it. Okay, you can just allow it, then it would be done. So if I click on save changes, you can see that now I have added a course policy. So like I've just given a basic example. Yeah, but in future if you get a course error, this is the solution, right? Then after that you'll be able to see things properly, you will be able to get images, there won't be any course error. Perfect. Okay, but it's like only Geeks for Geeks is allowed to show your images from S3 bucket. If I go to any other website, again I would get course error. Why? Because in course policy I have defined Geeks for Geeks org. That means any other website apart from this cannot access my images. Fine, I hope you got this. Okay, so guys, now let's continue with one more thing. That is the last thing, which is pre-signed URL. Okay, so pre-signed URL is very important. Very important. Why it's important? Suppose you are creating a e-commerce platform, or if I give you a better example, if you are talking about Netflix. Okay, let me just go to Netflix. So I don't have a subscription. Let me just go to Netflix. Okay, so ये किसकी आईडी यार? Okay, I was just trying to play around. Okay, anyways, so I'll just try to log in with my ID, and I think I would need subscription. I haven't taken the subscription. I want to show you something. So I'm trying to log in, and you would see that it's taking time. Anyways, so suppose I haven't taken subscription. Is there any way I can watch a movie? Is there any way I can watch a movie? No, obviously not. Okay, let me just open Amazon Prime. That would be better. Just give me a minute. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll just open Amazon Prime. I'll just show you a movie. Okay, Amazon Prime. I hope I don't get a copyright on this video. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I have subscription of Amazon Prime. Okay, so let's talk about this movie. So you can see that this is Man of Steel. Okay, Superman. Now I've taken subscription. I can play the movie. Okay, I can play the movie. Let me just click on play. So you can see that I can play the movie. I can show you things here. Okay, I can play the movie. But the problem here is, if I share you this link, can you watch the movie? If you haven't taken the subscription, can you watch the movie? Basically, whenever you watch a movie, you get some kind of token. If you have taken a subscription, then you get some kind of token. This is the token which I got from Amazon Prime, right? This is the token which I get from Amazon Prime. This token would change later on. Okay, this token would change later on. That means even if you don't have the subscription, if I share you this link, even if I share you this link, you won't be able to watch the movie because you don't have the subscription, and this token is only made for me. Okay, so basically this is the pre-signed URL. That means it's only generated for once. Automatically this URL would expire. Next time a new URL would be generated. Okay, you can watch the similar type of things in Netflix also. Same movie URL would be here. You can copy this movie URL and you can share it with your friend. Too easy, right? No, movie are not available in this URL. This is a pre-signed URL. This is like a token. Okay, if you share this token, you can't share the movie. Okay, different things. Okay, so this is the thing. Similarly, we have pre-signed URL. Okay, so it's like if you have the subscription, then you'll get a token to watch that movie or watch that image, to see that image or access that file. Okay, so let's talk about this bucket. Okay, so I'll just go to objects. Okay, you can see that basically this is, I have uploaded some image. Okay, I've uploaded some image. So you can see that we have this image. What is this? This is basically the token which I got. This is the token which I got from AWS. This is a pre-signed URL. Okay, just like a movie, this is the pre-signed URL. If you don't have this URL, if you are not subscribed, if you are not allowed to access my S3 bucket, then you won't be able to see the image. Even if I share this to you, okay, even if I share this to you, okay, even if I share okay, let's try this for incognito for now. If I hit this, you can see that right now it's working. After a few minutes, this token would expire because I haven't given the rules. But yeah, definitely, this is the URL which would expire after a few minutes, right? This would expire after a few minutes. So we can actually auto-generate this object action and share with a pre-signed URL. So you can share it with a pre-signed URL. Okay, you can just okay. I want to expire this one after 1 minute. Okay, after 1 minute, my pre-signed URL would stop working. So copy and paste. I'm sorry, open. Yeah, I'll just open it here. So you can see that, just a second. Okay, I did one mistake. Share with pre-signed URL, 1 minute, create pre-signed URL. I think now copy pre-signed URL. Yes, now I'll just paste it here. Okay, so this pre-signed URL would be available for 1 minute. After 1 minute, we'll try to reaccess that. Okay, after 1 minute, we'll try to reaccess that. I just open this in incognito mode. Okay, so let's wait for a minute. Then after that, it won't be visible actually. Okay, let's wait for a minute. भाई पक्का कॉपी हुआ है ना? Let me just check. Yeah, you can see guys that just after 1 minute, you can see that my URL got expired. That means this is the URL which is generated by AWS. After 1 minute, it would be expired. That means it's like a movie. If I share this URL to my friend, an expired URL, he cannot access that unless he has a subscription. So automatically a new URL would be generated, then he would be able to see the movie, right? That's how things work. That's how this thing works. Okay, so guys, I hope you understood what's pre-signed URL. Now, where you would be generating a pre-signed URL. Okay, this is generated by AWS. But how, as a developer, you would be generating this pre-signed URL? So, like as a Node.js developer, I generally do these things in Node.js backend. So what you're gonna do is, if you want to suppose send some file from backend to frontend. So basically, what actually happens is, you don't directly connect your frontend. Okay, you don't directly connect your frontend. What you actually do is, you have a frontend which is available somewhere. Okay, frontend is available somewhere. Similarly, guys. Okay, so what actually happens is here, if you are trying to request something from front end is trying to get some image, so it would be first of all going to the backend. Okay, going to the backend, and basically this backend would go to S3. S3 would generate some kind of token and URL, then you would be able to get the image in front end. That means backend would come in between. So what would have to actually happen? If you are trying to access some image, backend would be playing some major role for generating the URL, for verifying the user. So in the backend itself, if you are creating your backend in Node.js, you would be writing some rules to generate the pre-signed URL. Okay, so you can just search about this more later on. But yeah, that's what all about pre-signed URL. You are gonna get a token, and you can generate that token in your backend also, or you can generate the token from here, which is obviously not the ideal way. Obviously, if you are making a full stack application, you would be doing things from your from your backend, right? You won't be going to AWS console to generate the URL of your image. You won't be doing that, right? So in that case, you have to simply search. Suppose you are using Node.js backend, you'd be simply searching that how can I generate pre-signed URL in Node.js. You'd get a lot of solutions. Okay, you'll get a lot of videos and tutorials for that if you're creating a full stack application in AWS, right? So guys, I hope you understood this, and in the upcoming classes we're going to talk about AWS CloudFront. And one more thing, we're going to build the same kind of thing. We're going to generate pre-signed URL with the help of Node.js backend. Okay, so this tutorial is for those people who know Node.js. Okay, in the upcoming part, who know Node.js, they can watch the tutorial. Okay, upcoming tutorials. Okay, so the next part would be our AWS CloudFront. Then we're going to talk about Route 53. Then after that, we're going to talk about a backend that is available in Node.js, and there we would be creating our S3 bucket, and we would be managing our S3 bucket from our Node.js backend. Okay, that's going to be very great and very helpful tutorial, right? So guys, I hope you understood this video. We talked about storage classes and pre-signed URLs, and we also talked about the course policy. Okay, so that's it for today. I will see you in the next one. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.